China didn't steal its way to becoming the world's manufacturing superpower. America built it, piece by piece, factory by factory. And in chasing cheap labor and fast profits, U.S. corporations handed over the keys to global production without realizing they were building their own replacement. 1. The Great Opening, China's Gamble. It starts in 1978. China's leader, Deng Xiaoping, decides the nation needs to modernize fast. He opens the doors to capitalism, creating special economic zones where foreign companies can come in, hire Chinese labor, and build goods for export. Factories rise in places like Shenzhen, turning fishing villages into industrial megacities almost overnight. The deal was simple. China provided cheap labor and no questions asked. And in return, foreign companies brought money, machines, and technology. Western CEOs saw paradise. A workforce that was young, massive, and willing to work for a fraction of American wages. And so the flood began. 2. The American Exodus. By the 1980s and 90s, U.S. corporations were lining up to outsource production. Nike, Apple, General Motors, and countless others moved their factories to China. Why build in Detroit or Ohio when you could build in Guangdong for 10% of the cost? America's manufacturing heartland started to hollow out. The same factories that once built the world's cars, tools, and electronics began to close. Workers were laid off. Entire towns faded into economic ruin. But Wall Street didn't care. Profits were soaring. Stock prices rose, and executives cashed in bonuses. This wasn't just outsourcing. It was industrial migration, powered by greed and short-term thinking. 3. The WTO moment. China joins the game. Then came 2001, the year China joined the World Trade Organization. This was the tipping point. It meant Chinese goods could now flow freely across global markets with low tariffs and easy access. Almost overnight, China became the factory floor of the planet. If you bought it, there was a good chance it was made there, from sneakers and smartphones to TVs and toys. And while the U.S. was celebrating the age of globalization, China was quietly building something far bigger: industrial dominance. The more the West outsourced, the stronger China's production network grew. Ports, railways, power grids, all designed to serve one purpose: make everything faster and cheaper than anyone else. 4. Technology for trade, the hidden exchange. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. To do business in China, U.S. companies often had to share their technology with local partners. That meant handing over designs, production methods, and even trade secrets, just to access the market. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. But China was learning. Every machine built, every product assembled, it all added up to a massive transfer of industrial knowledge. Within a decade, China wasn't just assembling products. It was designing and innovating its own. Brands like Huawei, Lenovo, and BYD were born out of that ecosystem. America had taught its rival everything it needed to know. 5. The shift in power. By the 2010s, the transformation was undeniable. China had gone from the world's workshop to the world's supply chain commander. It didn't just make things, it controlled the parts, materials, and logistics behind them. From rare earth minerals to steel, from electronics to solar panels, China became the source. Meanwhile, the U.S. had turned into a service economy, designing, marketing, and consuming, but rarely producing. American corporations had won their profits, but America had lost its industrial soul. 6. The irony, built by the West, owned by China. Here's the irony. The entire system that empowered China was built on Western ambition. The pursuit of cheaper labor, higher margins, and endless growth created a monster too big to control. Every product made in China was a dollar of power shifted eastward. And while American CEOs were celebrating quarterly profits, China was executing a 40-year plan, building infrastructure, mastering technology, and preparing to outpace the West in every measurable way. Factories became cities. Cities became supply chains. And supply chains became leverage, the kind that now makes nations hesitate before crossing Beijing. 7. The aftermath, dependency, and dominance. Today, China produces more manufactured goods than the US, Japan, and Germany combined. Its control of global production isn't just economic, it's strategic. From pharmaceuticals to microchips, the world is hooked on Chinese manufacturing. And here's the kicker. It's not that America couldn't see it coming. It's that it didn't care, at least not until it was too late. The corporate boardrooms made their money. The factories moved. And now, decades later, the US is trying to rebuild what it once gave away. So when you pick up your phone, check your shoes, or glance at the tag on your shirt, you're looking at the legacy of that decision. Made in China isn't just a label. It's a story, one of ambition, greed, and strategic genius. Because while America was chasing quarterly profits, China was chasing the future. And now, the factory of the world belongs to them. Because America built it for them.